I'm going to be explaining why tangent and cotangent graphs are related to sine and cosine graphs. So if we look at the definition for tangent, tangent is sine over cosine, and if you notice the denominator, it's cosine, which indicates that there's going to be a relationship between the tangent and the cosine graphs. So if I were to put a tangent graph on top of this cosine graph, you'll see the following. See how the asymptotes are aligned with where 3 pi over 2 and pi over 2 is? And if you pay attention to the cosine graph, which is in gray, every time it goes down and hits the x-axis, that is where the asymptotes are. And that's how tangent is related to the cosine graph. Now, if I were to add a sine graph with this on it, sine graphs will always be either above or under where the cosine is at the x-axis and where the asymptote is hitting the whole line. Now, if we look at cotangent graphs, cotangent is cosine over sine. And again, if we look at the denominator, which is sine of x, we can see that there's going to be a relationship between the cotangent and the sine graphs. So here is a picture of a sine graph, and if I were to put a cotangent graph on top of this sine graph, you'll see that again the asymptotes are hitting at pi and 2 pi, and so the sine graphs, if you follow the curve, every time it goes down and touches the x-axis, this is where the asymptote will be, indicating that there is a relationship between the cotangent graphs and the sine graphs. If I were also to do the same thing as I did with the tangent graphs and put in a cosine graph, it will always be over or under this sine line or where the asymptotes will be. And that's the relationship between tangent and cotangent graphs to sine and cosine.